Alright, people, so I'm here with your Raw review. Thought the show wasn't that good. I saw the crowd really getting into some of these matches, and I can almost guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of people on Twitter or YouTube or whatever social media platform saying, oh, these were some great matches. Why? Just because there's some indie guys in there or whatever. It's like people assume that just because a match contains two good wrestlers, which I think two good wrestlers were Styles and Zayn there, they assume it's going to be a great match. And I will explain later why that was not a great match. But let me just get right into the show here. We get Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens starting off the show here to cut a promo. Thought it was an okay way to start the show. It was kind of just, again, WWE doing a bunch of announcements. Shane announces a tag team tournament. It's like, okay, we've seen that before. It's just a tag tournament between, eight fucking jobber tag teams. Then we get the announcement of Charlotte versus Natalia. Like, well, what? Natalia? Like, Natalia has not been relevant in fucking forever. She's hardly been on Raw. And now all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just gets a title match because she was bitching last week. Don't get it, people. So, and then he announces Styles versus Zayn, which I was pretty excited for. And I don't get, though, why Owens does not get an automatic rematch for his title. Because, you're supposed to get a rematch when you lose. Well, I thought that was fucked up. Didn't make any sense. Like, that's something a heel would do. I didn't get that. But it was an okay way to start the show, I guess. It's different, because now we don't get to see the Authority anymore, which I'm very fucking happy about. Hopefully they're gone forever. We didn't get the show started off with a Stephanie McMahon Roman Reigns promo. Thank God. I'm sure Stephanie's dying. Knowing that she's not going to be on Raw, or at least she's not on Raw right now. So, but I'm sure they'll come back sometime. Triple H and Stephanie. I'm sure he'll be back. Who the fuck knows, though? So, then we get this match, Cesaro defeating Kevin Owens. Didn't think this match was that good. I'm sorry, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Some people are probably going to go out and say, oh, this was a great match. Yeah, I agree. Cesaro's a good wrestler. Owens is a good wrestler. They're both really good talents. I remember these two guys had a feud around SummerSlam, and I remember the match wasn't that good either. Maybe these two guys just don't have good chemistry, but people just assume before the match, when they see two good wrestlers, they assume it's going to be a good match, and they will say that's a good match because they like the wrestlers. But not always do two good wrestlers put on, a great match or a good match. I thought this was a very lackluster match. Just fucking, typical moves. It just wasn't exciting. It was just the two wrestlers doing their normal fucking moves. How could that be exciting? It wasn't exciting, people. I'm going to give it 1 out of 5 stars. Just not that quality of match. So, it's kind of disappointing. Owens can't even fucking win, a match to even be in an IC title match now. It's like, what are they going to do with him now? He just keeps losing, it seems like. Yes, he's held the Intercontinental Championship 2 or 3 times, but come on. He deserves better in this company. I still don't get why he didn't get an IC title shot, his rematch. It just made no sense to me. Then we get this backstage segment with Charlotte and Ric Flair and Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, of all people, they're going to bring into WWE Raw to boost the ratings. What the fuck are they thinking? I'm sure there was millions of people who, stopped watching, stopped their lives. It just turned on WWE Raw to see Dr. Phil. Yeah. I don't fucking know. Because people who watch Dr. Phil, it doesn't seem like the type of people who would want to watch wrestling. Maybe people who watch UFC would want to watch wrestling. people who watch sports would want to watch wrestling. You know, there's some crossover there, but I'm not a demographic expert, but I don't think this is gonna boost the ratings, guys. And then he's like, yeah, I've been watching you guys, Natalia, or not Natalia, Charlotte and Ric Flair. I've been watching you guys. You know, like yeah, you know, do we really think Dr. Phil's been sitting down on Monday nights at 8 p.m. watching Raw for 3 hours? I think not. I think that's a big, giant fucking lie there. Then we have the Dudleys defeating Kalisto and Sin Cara. Or should I just say the Dudleys defeat Sin Cara because apparently Kalisto fucking got hurt, I guess. I don't fucking know. But this match was just a boring fucking match. I'm going to give it 0 out of 5 stars because it just wasn't good. You know, I know fucking Kalisto got injured, but it just wasn't entertaining. And I think even if Kalisto wouldn't have got injured, it's like, okay, it's still a tag match between two jobber tag teams. Who really gives a shit? And then Enzo and Cass come out again. And it kind of was the same shit as last week. You know, they throw some insults back and forth. I mean, they were pretty decent. It was okay insults, I guess. Wasn't anything too special. Kind of like how the Dudleys were like, oh, you know, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be here and shit. And Enzo goes, actually, you know, my parents got it on that, so I got here. So it's kind of a little bit funny, kind of funny there. But you know, I kind of want more. You know, it seems like when they debut people from NXT, they get stuck in like the same shit. You know, it's like Rusev debuts and he faces jobbers for a year. Now it's same thing happening with Apollo Crews. Same thing happening with this tag team. They debut and now they're doing the same fucking shit 2 straight weeks. Fucking promo with the Dudleys. It's like, have a match, do something else. Okay, like I don't want them to get stuck. And then they confront jobbers too. I mean, I know they're the Dudleys and shit, but they're jobbers. You know. It's like if they go over the Dudleys, it's like, okay, but what have the Dudleys done? Nothing. You know, but I guess you could argue it's the Dudleys, they got a big name, so it's okay. But I don't know, I would just like them to do some more impactful things right off the bat and not ease into it. That's what I'm trying to say with these NXT debuts. Then we have, so I guess that was an okay little promo there. I was hoping for more, though. Then we get Reigns and the League of Jobbers cutting a promo. I mean, it was just a really fucking bad promo. You know, you get Reigns saying, oh, Rusev, you're the ass of WWE. Oh, no, I'm the face of WWE. It's like, oh my god, they were saying that ass of WWE thing a long time ago. And when I first heard it, I'm like, it's kind of a good thing, you know, whatever. But now Reigns is copying it from like 2 years ago when I remember like Orton, I think, used to say it or some shit. Now they're saying it again. I mean, just a fucking simplistic, boring ass promo. You know, these are 2 of the worst fucking, you know, with the League of Nations are awful. Nobody likes them. Reigns, same thing. Why would you put them together to cut a promo? Then the Wyatt family comes out, and you're thinking, it's like, it's the Wyatt family. They're jobbers. It's like hard to get into this. So they come out, and it sets up the main event. It's like, okay, you know, maybe we'll get something exciting, because it's Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. And even though I don't like Roman Reigns, I hate him. Even though Bray Wyatt's a jobber, you're thinking, oh, it's kind of interesting, you know, Bray Wyatt's on, you know, with the baby face here, Roman, heel, baby face together. Okay, and they did a feud a long time ago, so you're thinking, oh, this is a little bit interesting. I mean, it's not like I'm getting out of my chair, you know, celebrating or anything, but I'm like, I guess it could be okay. But I will elaborate on that later. Then we have Natalya defeating Charlotte by disqualification. A boring match, really. Nothing too entertaining here. Again, just the wrestlers doing their typical fucking moves. You had Flair there helping, you know, he caused a disqualification finish there, so Charlotte's still champion. But who really gives a shit anyway? The title is basically meaningless when you have a fucking person who's hardly on Raw competing for it. A person who's hardly relevant competing for it. And I like Natalia. I think she's a good wrestler, but she's irrelevant in the Divas division because she's hardly been on TV. So I'm going to give this match 1 out of 5 stars. And you had Dr. Phil out there just awkwardly watching the match. Like, what the fuck? He wasn't even on commentary. And you got Byron Saxon awkwardly interviewing him. Oh, yeah, you know, I was very disappointed by the way that Charlotte won. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it's just so dumb. I mean, oh, Dr. Phil really cares about the ethics of Charlotte. I mean, it just looks so random and dumb and thrown together. I mean, total waste of money, a total waste of a use of Dr. Phil, total waste of Dr. Phil's time, total waste of my time. I mean, just dumb as fuck. So then we get talking about dumb as fuck. The Usos defeating the Social Outcasts. I'm so fucking tired of pointless, dumb tag matches that don't mean shit. Nobody cares about them. The crowd is dead silent during them. You know, it's like, why have a Raw? Why have a Raw be 3 hours when you're just going to fill it with filler tag matches and filler matches in general with jobbers? It's totally pointless to have Raw this long. So this was a boring match. I'll give it 0 out of 5 stars. But then after, you get Gallows and Anderson debuting. They beat up the Usos. You know, and I don't know too much about these guys. I'm not going to be like an indie American and say, oh, this was a fucking awesome, you know, I know these two guys, I've been watching them forever. Nah, I mean, I've heard about Luke Gallows. Haven't really heard about this Carl Anderson guy, but, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it was kind of it was a better debut than what they've been doing with the NXT guys, having them face jobbers, so I guess it was a decent debut there. I mean, it wasn't anything great or anything like that, but it was a decent little debut there. Unexpected, a little bit cool and shit. I mean, it's not like they really beat up the Usos that badly, so, I mean, it was decent, I guess. Then we have Styles defeating Zayn, and this is what I'm talking about. It was an okay match. I mean, it was long. I thought it started out kind of boring. I mean, it was kind of typical technical wrestling to begin. And I thought it was slow. I mean, it's like, come on, guys, pick it up. Let's get some high spots going. Let's get some fast-paced wrestling going. You know, I thought they did too much fucking trying to do like that technical wrestling. And I like technical wrestling, but you can't fucking overdo it. You know, you gotta, okay, let's start making it faster paced and get to some high spots and shit here. And I thought, again, the wrestlers kind of use their typical moves a lot, and just also there was a botch there at the end too. I mean, do people realize that probably that was kind of supposed to be the highlight of the match was botched? You know, I mean, fucking Zayn, like, falls on his face, I believe. I mean, that looked bad. I mean, are people going to talk about that? And botches happen, but when they happen, you know, you gotta call them out, and you gotta say that shouldn't happen. You know? So, I mean, it was an okay match. I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 5 stars, but again, people get this mindset when there's two great wrestlers, they think automatically it's gonna be a good match. I got news for you. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes, you know, the expected doesn't happen. And thought it was okay. You know, I didn't really think it was that good. I mean, okay, it was okay. 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not gonna talk about it forever. So if you have a problem with that, whatever, leave a comment. But just don't fucking lose your mind because I gave the match 2.5 stars and you gave it fucking 5. Okay, just settle the fuck down. Then we have Jericho and Ambrose doing a segment here. I guess they're going to have a feud. It was an okay segment, I thought. Yeah, I thought it was kind of decent, you know. A little bit funny, I guess. Ambrose comes in and changes the show. But, I mean, it was kind of a copy of what they did. They did this a few months ago, I believe, with Jericho and Miz TV, where Jericho came in and changed the segment. So, I mean, it's unoriginal, kind of. It was okay. I mean, it was okay, I guess. I guess it was a little bit funny. Then Ambrose hits the dirty deeds on Jericho, and that's really it. So, you know, it was an okay little segment there. You know, Jericho cut a decent promo, I thought. You know, kind of shitting on the fans. I thought that was decent. Then we have Apollo Crews defeating Adam Rose. That's what I'm talking about. Stupid fucking jobber matches with these NXT stars. They just bring them up and they put them in jobber matches. I failed to see the point in that. I failed to see the point. Can somebody... Does somebody see the point in this? Or does somebody like how WWE just feeds jobbers to these newcomers in NXT? I mean, have them make an impact. Have them do something cool. You know, I don't want them facing jobbers, you know, forever. So, yeah, this was just a fucking stupid jobber match. I'm going to give it 0 out of 5 stars. Just pointless and dumb. Then you get your main event. And remember I was talking about earlier in my review, like, oh, you know, they put Reigns and Bray Wyatt together. You're thinking, okay, maybe they'll do something interesting. Did they do anything interesting? No. Nothing that was really interesting at all. I mean, it was just a typical tag team match. And it was just boring. The wrestling was boring. The League of Jobbers are just awful in the ring, outside of the ring, on the mic, all around. One of the worst tag teams I've seen. Reigns has got to be the worst wrestler I've seen. And then Bray Wyatt is... I think he's shown talent in the past, but now he's just a jobber who doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So it's hard to get excited about him. And why are the League of Jobbers in the main event? I have no fucking clue whatsoever. So, again, it was just a fucking typical match. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Nothing unique. You know, they had Roman and Bray. They were making you think something was going to happen with these two guys. And nothing really did happen. They got along. They won. So, it's just a boring fucking way to end the show. I mean, what are we going to have? Roman Reigns join the Wyatt family now? I mean, I don't fucking know what they're going to do. But this show was just a disaster, people. It sucked. It really fucking did. I mean, pointless matches. Dr. Phil. You know, I'm trying to think of what the headline should be. WWE Raw 4/11/16 review. Pointless matches, Dr. Phil, bullshit. I'll think of it, but just a fucking shitty ass show. I'll give it 1 out of 10 stars. I mean, not good at all. Not good at all, people. And let me stress this fact, though. I just want last thing to engrave this in your mind. Just because it's two good wrestlers facing each other does not mean it's going to be a good match. Or a great match. Okay, I mean, there's instances where it just doesn't happen. You know, they don't mesh well, or, you know, I mean, people aren't on their game every fucking day. Okay? So, like, I remember CM Punk talking about he was wrestling with John Morrison, and, like, they were having shitty matches, and then one day they just clicked and had a great match. So, I mean, nobody fucking has a great match every day. And I think people really assume that, oh, I see, you know, Seth Rollins facing Kevin Owens, or I'm just hypothetically saying, you know, two great wrestlers facing each other. They assume it's going to be a great 5-star match. And they really overrate things. And maybe, you know, Sami Zayn hits a Blue Thunder Bomb and the guy kicks out at 2.5. And people are, oh, he kicked out at 2.5, oh my God. And they overrate things, I think. And they chant this is awesome for, like, wrestlers doing their typical moves they do during every match. It's like, calm down, guys. You know, so it kind of pisses me off with these kind of, you know, I saw the Brad Rules made an NXT, you know, talking about NXT fan. I didn't watch the video, I just saw the title. But I mean, that is true. There are NXT fanboys who just praise everything NXT does, or they praise everything these indie guys do. And they can never be wrong. Or these great wrestlers, you know, who they think are good, put on great matches every fucking match when they face each other. I got news for you. They don't do it every fucking time, alright? But let me just make this clear before I end the video. I am big fans of Cesaro, Owens, Styles, and Sami Zayn. I am big fans of them. They're 4 of my favorite wrestlers. So there you go, people. There's your Raw review. A pretty shitty episode of Raw. Topped off with, of course, you gotta remember, always keep it in your mind. Who's the champ? Who's the number 1 guy? Oh yeah, that giant fuckface who gets booed all the time. Who got his ass booed tonight? Who got fucking booed again. Roman Reigns. So there you go, people. There's your Raw review.